You ever hear someone say, blood is thicker than water, family is everything? Well, let me tell you something. Some people don't deserve to be called family. Some people only understand pain until the day someone finally makes them feel it back. This is the story of how my own mother destroyed my siblings, destroyed my childhood, destroyed my life, and how I finally destroyed hers. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the darkest, most heartbreaking nuclear revenge stories you'll ever hear. A story of cruelty, of loss, and of a slow, burning revenge carried for over a decade. Viewer discretion is advised. Now, let's begin. I came into this world already unwanted. My mother liked to call me a demonic hell spawn. Not joking. She actually used those words when I was just 2 years old. My baby brother, Mark, was born, and like any normal toddler suddenly replaced by a shiny new baby, I acted out. But unlike most parents who guide their kids, my mother just wrote me off. To her, Mark wasn't just a new child. He was an upgrade. And I was outdated stock. So she did what any selfish, neglectful, cold-hearted person would do. She threw me to my grandparents like yesterday's trash. But my grandparents, they saved me. They taught me kindness. They taught me how to love. They showed me everything my mother never could. And eventually, I grew close to Mark. I loved him. Protected him. He was my little brother. My pride. If only I had known how short that time would be. When I was 13, everything went from bad to unbearable. My mother remarried. And her new husband, my stepfather. He was the kind of man who believed fists teach better than words. If I questioned anything, if I showed independence, if I dared to act like a human being, he beat me. Sometimes in front of my mother, and she didn't lift a finger. Not one. This is the moment the seed of revenge buried itself inside me. It wasn't rage yet. It wasn't hatred. Just a quiet, simmering promise, one day you'll pay. They never did housework either. Instead, they waited until my grandparents left for the weekend, then dumped everything on us. Cleaning the entire house. Yard work. Climbing onto the roof at 10 years old to clean gutters. Cutting tree branches with no protection. Dangerous adult chores, forced on children. I didn't have a childhood. I had a workload. I was 14 when we lost Alicia, my baby sister. My mother told Mark and me to watch her. But my stepfather wanted to play video games and refused to let us leave the room. I don't know what made me stand up. I don't know what made me look around. But suddenly, I asked, "Where's Alicia?" And then everything turned to chaos. My father, who happened to be visiting, burned his hand on the stove when we all started panicking. We searched the house, the yard, the garage, everywhere. But we didn't check the pool. We should have checked the pool. My mother's scream still echoes in my skull sometimes. That sound when she found her. Alicia wasn't breathing. My father dragged me and Mark inside while they did CPR. But it was too late. She died that night. And my mother's second mistake was made. Mark and I blamed ourselves. But my grandparents, they told us the truth. It wasn't our fault. It was hers. The custody battle started. My father won at first. But my grandparents, they believed in family unity, even when that family was poison. My mother won us back, and we returned to the woman who had already destroyed one of us. I turned 18, legally an adult, finally free, or so I hoped. Mark was 15 by then, still a kid. He'd broken his finger in a fight and had pins put in. He was given heavy pain medication. It was my mother's job to regulate it. Let me repeat that, it was her job. To protect him, to watch him, to make sure he didn't overdose. And she failed again. One afternoon, my grandfather picked me up from school. He had that look, the one you never forget. We got home, and I saw the stretcher, the body bag. Mark was dead. 15 years old. Gone because she wasn't watching him. Gone because she couldn't be bothered to care. Gone because neglect was the only thing she ever excelled at. And that was the moment the quiet simmering inside me turned into full-blown wildfire. I was done. My father took my side. His family took my side. Everyone else split. CPS took my baby half-brother Sam away forever. I never saw him again. I went from the oldest of 3, to an only child with ghosts, 2 dead siblings, one taken away. All because of her. So yes, I wanted revenge. And I would get it. My grandfather was the closest thing I ever had to a real father. He raised me. He taught me work, kindness, discipline. His only flaw, he was too kind. Too trusting. And my mother exploited him like a parasite. So I became a wrench in her gears. Anytime she wanted something. Anytime she tried to manipulate him. Anytime she tried to guilt, trip him, I stepped in. I challenged her. Argued with her. Blocked her. Made her fight tooth and nail for every scrap. And the cracks started to show. She cried sometimes. Broke down in frustration. I didn't feel bad. Not even a little. Then I got lucky. She slipped at work. Herniated several discs. Severe back injury. And when I heard the news I smiled. Because for the first time in her life, she felt real pain. The kind she had given us. But I wasn't done. When she came home with pain meds, I hid them. Threw them away, made her suffer every single day. Then she got into a car wreck while high on those meds. DUI. 6 months in jail. And I laughed. Because my revenge had only begun. While she was in jail, I took her room. Moved all her belongings to storage. Turned my old space into a gaming room. When she came home, she slept on the couch. Every night. On metal bars. With her destroyed back. Listening to her groan in pain as she stood up every morning. Music. Pure, beautiful music. I savored it. Years passed. We moved back to the old house. Her back got worse. Her life fell apart. So what did she do? She convinced my grandparents to illegally buy drugs for her. She manipulated them, especially my grandmother, into becoming criminals. I refused to take part. And I made an anonymous police tip. Nothing came of it. But I didn't know that fate had saved the best for last. Because her final punishment was going to come from me personally. I'm 31 now. 13 years have passed since Mark died. My grandfather, my real father figure, was gone. I had savings, inheritance, a steady life. My grandmother's health was failing. She was going into a retirement home soon. And my mother, broke, desperate, reaching the end of her rope. One day she came to me, tears in her eyes, pathetic, trembling, and asked, "Will you take care of me after Grandma is gone? It's your duty as my son." And that was it. That was the moment I'd been building toward my entire life. I stood up, looked her square in the eyes, and said the words I waited decades to say, "You get nothing from me. Grandma's going into a home. I'm moving states. You destroyed my life. You took my childhood. You caused the deaths of my siblings. You broke the law. You hurt everyone around you. You will be homeless. Alone. And I will laugh. I never loved you. And I never will. You are not my mother. Rot in hell." My grandmother's jaw dropped. My mother collapsed in tears, and I felt peace, real peace. My revenge was complete. Grandma moves into the care home soon. I'm moving to a new state with the woman I love. A new job. A new life. My mother, she will have nothing. No home money. No support. No children. Because she killed her family long before I destroyed hers. If you have siblings, cherish them. If you have people you love, hold them close. Because losing them changes you in ways you never recover from. Thank you for listening. Stay safe out there.